Welcome to the Diversity Scholarships Foundation's Profiles in the Law. It is our pleasure to present to you a series of conversations with prominent members of the legal profession in the state of Illinois and Cook County. I am your host for these conversations, Justice Jesse Reyes. I am a member of the Illinois Appellate Court and the current president of the Diversity Scholarship Foundation. Today we have with us a great pleasure of the president of the Women's Bar Association of Illinois, Whitney Siehl. Whitney, how are you?
I'm doing well, Justice Reyes. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for accommodating me appearing virtually since I am sick, but I appreciate it. I'm happy to be here.
Oh, no, and it's our pleasure to have you. For our viewers, could you just explain to them a little bit? So you're not a native of Chicago, correct?
That is correct. I am from a small town called Port Clinton, Ohio, which is between Toledo and Cleveland by Cedar Point, the amusement park, if you know that area.
Yes. All right. And then you went to school outside of Ohio. Is that correct?
That is correct. I went to Northwestern, so that is how I had my first tie here to the Chicagoland area, where I played on the Northwestern women's golf team, among many other activities that I did at that school. So go Cats.
All right, and it's my understanding that you are a big fan and a lover of golf. Is that not correct?
It is true. So I started playing golf when I was 3 years old. It was a family thing. It would be me, mom, dad, grandma, and grandpa. We would go out on the weekends. And so I was instrumental in helping with my parents start our women's high school golf team. And my senior year in high school, it became a full varsity sport. And something I'm really proud of is in the past few years, women have been signing national letters of intent to play college golf. And that would not have happened had we not started those teams. So it's really meaningful to me.
Oh, great. And I know you've introduced your love of golf to your members on the Women's Bar Association of Illinois. Is that right?
Yes. So part of how I got involved with the Women's Bar was actually joining the committee for the Women's Bar's golf outing. And we call it the No Threat, No Sweat outing, meaning anyone can come play. It's a scramble. You don't have to know everything about golf to come. And so I started chairing that event in 2015, and I've chaired it every year since. And midway through my chairing, I was like, we should do a clinic for people to just feel comfortable with golf terms, getting out there holding the clubs. So we started doing a clinic. And this year we actually started doing a putt outing as well. So if you're not into golf, you can still participate. It was a family-friendly event, and you were there as well, Justice Reyes. It was super
Yes.
fun. We had a really nice event as well. So just the lead
Yeah.
up to the golf outing of getting more people involved and excited about the sport.
Yeah, it was a great event. It was a great outing, particularly also because it was open to families, young people, and adults as well. And it was a great time. It was had by everybody. So thank you again for. Hopefully, that will become an annual event.
I hope so. I do feel very strongly about getting people to say yes to play golf. It's such a wonderful opportunity, one, to be outside, since I know a lot of us spend a lot of time indoors reading or at our computers, and another way to just network, to meet clients, to meet people in a different setting. And I was actually lucky enough to get a female partner at one of my first firms to come to the Women's Bar outing. And after that, she said yes to every other client outing she got invited to. And just what a phenomenal business development opportunity.
Well, thank you again for doing that. And, with your love for golf and your proficiency at golf, you chose a path to the legal profession. So what made you want to become a lawyer?
Oh, that is a great question. I think my mom would say it's because I'm good at arguing, but I know we've all heard that before. I think I always wanted to help people. And I spent a lot of time in college thinking about what's the best way to really have an impact and help people. And I found that I met a lot of lawyers. And between going to law school and undergrad, I interned with a lawyer in Evanston, and he took me to depositions, he took me to trials, and I saw the real impact that he was having on people. He did a lot of med mal, and just seeing people that are having the darkest day of their life and being able to bring them some measure of closure was really something meaningful to me, and why I got excited and decided to ultimately pursue going into law school.
Oh, well, that's fantastic. And you also, I know you're very active in the Women's Bar Association, but you're also very active in other organizations as well. So could you tell our viewers a little bit about some of the other organizations that you're involved with, like, for example, Pause?
Of course. So I got involved with Paw Chicago. It is the largest, Midwest's largest no-kill animal shelter here in the city, and they do some fantastic work. And so I got involved with volunteering, just petting the animals, helping clean up after them, and through that work, got involved with their marathon charity team and ran for several years with Team Paws fundraising for their life-saving mission for animals, mostly dogs and cats in the city, and making sure that just because a pet is homeless, that they, don't ultimately end up being euthanized. So it's a very special, near and dear cause to my heart. Team Paws is one of the largest fundraising teams at the marathon, so it's a great group of fun people that get together, run the miles, and raise the money. So it was a lot of fun to be involved. They also have a professional board that I served on as a younger woman, and I helped run their 5K as well as they do an annual happy hour reception as well, which is a lot of fun.
So you mentioned the marathon, the Chicago Marathon. I believe you're a little familiar with that marathon. Is that correct?
Just a little. I have run Chicago every year since 2012, and except for 2020 when it was canceled. It is a fantastic marathon. It was my first marathon. This city is beautiful. We all know this. We live here, but getting to see it, running through the neighborhoods, seeing everybody come out and celebrate with you, and seeing just the beautiful diversity of this city, it is one of my favorite days of the year. And so they can't keep me away.
Yeah. Well, running 26.2 miles is a long way to go. What encouraged you to start doing marathons?
That's a great question. So I ran cross country growing up, and I ran for a year in college before I transferred to Northwestern. And I'd always wanted to do a marathon, but I wasn't sure I could. And I was lucky enough to join the Chicago Area Runners Association, which is another great organization here, where I serve as a pace group leader, volunteer for first time marathon runners. And that camaraderie in the community, their tagline is the power of the group. And it is exactly true. I would not be out there running that far if I didn't have a group of people out there supporting me and supporting them as well. And so it's just been wonderful.
Yeah, so I guess you would encourage whoever wants to do it, particularly those that are going to be taking it on for the first time, that they maybe should do it with a running group or running club that might, help them along the way.
Absolutely. Being part of a running group, it's a very special experience, and especially on those long days or when the weather isn't as great, as we know that Chicago weather can be tough. You still get out there because you know your group is depending on you and will cheer for you, and it's a great social opportunity as well.
Yeah. So did you partake in the marathon this year in 2023?
I did, yes.
Yeah.
And I was actually really excited. I saw a lot of fellow bar leaders out there as well. And that was really exciting to see some people cheering, but also running. And so it's cool to see a great group of legal runners out there.
So for someone who might be watching and they're going to be taking on their first marathon, any suggested tips that you think that might help them along the way?
Oh, that is a good question. So I would, of course, as we've discussed, join a group or training plan. That's really important. Another thing is to listen to your body. You definitely don't want to take on too much running too early in your program, especially if you haven't run a marathon before. But another key really is nutrition and thinking about what you're eating both during running as well as leading up to running and recovery. And that's something that we talk about a lot on our group runs. It's really important, and everybody's different. So some people can handle eating real food while other people have to find gel. So a lot of it is the training program, is kind of the dress rehearsal each time you're running to see what works for you and your body to make sure you're fueled and don't hit that dreaded wall that they talk about, because there is a way to fuel effectively so you end up not feeling that during the race.
Man, those are great tips. But it is enjoyable. I know I've done it myself, and as you mentioned, Chicago's a great place to run the marathon. The communities all come out and they're very supportive, and they cheer everybody on, and so it's a delight because in a way it kind of makes the run a lot shorter than when it really is. But now, so you're involved in the Women's Bar Association. You're involved with Pause. But what do you do during the daytime?
Well, my day job, I am an attorney at Hagens Berman Sobel Shapiro. It's an international law firm focused on plaintiff side class actions.
Okay, and you've had some pretty prominent clients, have you not, in your years as an attorney?
Yes, I was very fortunate to work on the Harvey Weinstein case representing the actresses that brought a civil suit against him in a class action. And we were able to, through years of litigation and hard work during the case that really, in my mind, started the Me Too movement, which was very meaningful to me and to all women, to be able to bring these brave women that came forward some measure of recompense and closure was really a phenomenal highlight to my legal career thus far.
Yeah. Are those cases still pending?
So my case is completely wound up. It was within the bankruptcy of the Weinstein Company.
Okay, all right. But yeah, as you mentioned, that was definitely a sad moment in our history in our country, and then for for the entertainment industry as well. Um, any suggestions or thoughts or tips that you maybe could provide young women or women of any age if they were to encounter some situation as what occurred with Mr. Weinstein?
Well, I think that it's very important to report it if something like that happens. And I know for a lot of people that go through some type of sexual harassment or sexual abuse, that that's a really hard thing for people to do. But I'm hopeful that that moment in time helped people feel that there is an opportunity to report it, to bring these things to light, and then to protect other women so these types of things don't happen again.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your service. I mean, it's very commendable that you took on those difficult issues and yet were able to help out some people in their time of need. That's very commendable of you to do that. But you also have paying clients, but you also get involved in the pro bono area as well, correct?
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about some of your pro bono work?
Absolutely. So pro bono work is so important. I know that there's a lot of advocacy around it. We have some pro bono weeks and things, and it's something that I encourage all lawyers to get involved with. It is so rewarding to be able to help people that really have nowhere else to go, and it's a true calling of our profession to do so. And I've been lucky enough to work on a lot of different pro bono cases in the employment discrimination context, as well as a big portion of the Weinstein case that I worked on, we did ultimately take pro bono as well. So not only meaningful work, but impactful work and making sure the money in big cases are going to the victims and the survivors that truly need
Yeah,
it, which I think is really special. One great way to get involved, if I could plug things, I know there's so many
sure.
wonderful opportunities here. The Seventh Circuit has a great program called the Settlement Assistance Program, where you can get trained and then help come in on an employment discrimination case just as settlement counsel to help get these cases resolved. It's a great opportunity for young lawyers to get that experience without taking on an entire case. Because I know sometimes we're worried about billing and we're worried about a lot of work and being competing demands on our time. That's a great way to start getting involved with pro bono.
And if someone was interested in the program, how would they go about signing up or talking to someone about getting involved?
So the program is through the Seventh Circuit. I believe it's on their website and they have contact information. I know it's called the Settlement Assistance Program. I think it's really great.
Okay, great. All right. Now, as I mentioned at the outset of the program, you're the current president of the Women's Bar Association. We in the past have had great fortune of having some of your predecessors on to talk about, their programs and the Women's Bar Association. But could you just briefly tell our viewers a little bit of the history of the Women's Bar Association, the purpose of the Women's Bar Association, and some of the things that you've done and some of the things that you like to do in the future and during your term as president?
Absolutely. So the Women's Bar Association of Illinois was founded in 1914 by 9 women lawyers focusing on fostering, promoting, promulgating, and advancing women and women lawyers in the state of Illinois. Our mission is still the same today. It's something that we focus on. It's something I'm extremely passionate about, as well as the rest of our board. So we have a lot of different activities that we do throughout the year, CLEs, networking. My theme of my presidency this year was Together We Succeed. And that theme focused on partnering with women and minority businesses within our communities, focused on partnering with other bar associations, as well as mentorship and empowerment through sport. So a lot of our activities this year so far have been doing unique and different events with other bar associations. We did a very fun event with the Lesbian and Gay Bar Association, the Alliance for Illinois Judges. We very recently did an event called How to Have Difficult Conversations About Race in partnership with 7 other bar associations, where we had a phenomenal speaker, Kwame Christian, come in and really create a very wonderful dialogue on a very important issue within the legal community and the community as a whole. And coming forward, moving into that mentorship area, we are starting mentoring circles, which will have a few mentors and a larger group of law students and young lawyers partnering with the Alliance for Women in the CBA, as well as the Women in the Law Committee of the ISBA, to bring our associations together, but also bring the law schools together as well in these larger mentoring informal conversations within your circle. So we're very excited about that. And then the empowerment through sport has kind of been a theme that kind of runs through something that I'm very passionate about. We not only held our golf outing and the new putt-putt outing, but we had partnerships with the Chicago Sky WNBA team, as well as the Chicago Red Stars, where we did a CLE and then a game. And it was really exciting because it was many people's first time attending some of our professional women's sports games. And we just had a really wonderful time partnering with them as well.
So did you and your members take it easy on the Sky when you played them?
You know, they're really, really good. And we were lucky to watch them win. And we were not playing, we were just hanging out.
Okay. Now, with regards to the Women's Bar Association, you also reach out to law students as well, young lawyers as well?
We do. We have a lot of events that are free for law students. You can also join as a member for free when you're in law school, and for free your first year out of practice. So we try to encourage people to get involved. We have a lot of events that way, and the mentoring program, we're specifically reaching out to law students to get involved as well.
Right, and then you always have a informative newsletter, I believe, that comes out 4 times a year?
Yes.
And then what kind of articles do you have in the newsletter?
So our newsletter is really open to anyone that would like to submit an article. So if anyone would like to, we have new developments in the law. We talk about issues affecting women specifically, cases about women. We have a section called the Law Student Perspective, where we highlight what law students are going through, what they would like to see change within the legal profession, as well as highlighting all of our events and highlighting some of our members as well that are movers and shakers within the legal community.
Okay. So if somebody that's watching the program wanted to become involved with the Women's Bar Association, where would they go?
Oh, that's a great question. So first of all, you can sign up on our website to join. You can follow us on social media. We have Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. It's WBA Illinois is our tag, so you can find out about all of our events there. We have a weekly email that goes out on Mondays that will tell you about all of our events. And really just come to any event, and we'd be happy to see you and get you involved.
Great, great. Now, so you're very active in Women's Bar Association, and you mentioned some other organizations. You know, why is it for you and for other lawyers important to give back to the community at large?
It's extremely important to get involved with the legal community. And I think really what it comes down to me is mentoring is everything. Mentoring has meant so much to me in my career, both in my day job, where I'm able to help bring on new law students and young lawyers to teach them about the profession, but also the mentoring that I receive by getting involved with the legal community, seeing the impact that we can make, and then being in that position now to pay it forward and make the the road a little easier for those that come after me as well.
Yeah. And then for young people that might be interested in the law, or might get involved in some facet of the law, what would you suggest to them?
Well, I would suggest if they're able to find a lawyer to shadow. Lawyers are so receptive and open if you reach out to them to tell you about their profession, to go to coffee, to potentially bring you along to let you see what it looks like to go to court and to kind of get your feet wet that way to see if this really is something you're interested in. There's other programs like that as well. The Women's Bar is involved with the Women Everywhere program where we do a courthouse visit. And there's just other ways to really see the profession in action. So I highly recommend please reach out. People will respond, they'll be receptive, and that's a great way to meet people and see if this is something that you're really interested in and how to go about thinking about applying for law school as well.
Well, like you mentioned, when you were young and interested in the law, you shadowed as well, right?
I did. And it really opened up the whole world to me. Like I didn't know what a deposition was until he brought me and I was able to see it firsthand.
Great. Yeah, and sometimes I think people get the wrong impression when they see the movies, they see TV, and the streaming programs as to what we do in the profession and how lawyers behave. And I think one of the most important things is civility and courtesy to each other and to others in the profession. Don't you agree?
Oh, 100%. I think it is so, so important that we really consider being, you can be a strong advocate for your client, but you can also be civil. And I think that that's really important and something that we all strive to do within the profession.
Okay, so what are your future plans after your term as president of the Women's Bar Association?
Oh, it's a great question. Well, I'm going to continue working hard at my day job and only have one job then, and focus on continue advocating for my clients, seeking justice and equality, righting wrongs. But one thing I am personally excited about is I am going to the Paris Olympics.
Oh, you are great.
I am.
Yeah, and when is that?
It's at the end of June, early August, or July, early August.
Okay, so now are you attending as a spectator, or are you going to be there, going there as a potential participant?
Oh, I wish I could be a participant, but no, just a spectator.
Oh, okay. And have you ever had the opportunity to go to Paris?
I have been before, and I'm just really excited to see what it's going to look like with all the other countries there and everybody competing.
Oh, good luck, and I hope it works out very well. I myself have never had the opportunity to attend an Olympics. I've been to some of the cities that had Olympics after they've left, but it's always enjoyable to hear about all the history and the programs that they had and the individual athletes that participated in and listen to their stories as well. Again, I want to thank you, Whitney, for joining us and being here. I hope our viewers enjoyed this conversation. It's always great to have a young lawyer like yourself coming out and participating and giving back to the community. I think it's as anyone knows it's it's a full-time job, giving to your clients during the day, but then at night and on the weekends going out and participating in various events like pause and the Women's Bar Association, which is one of the very active bar associations. We're fortunate in Illinois and in Chicago to have many active bar associations, but one of the most active happens to be the Women's Bar Association. So I want to give you kudos to you and to your colleagues for all the good work that you do.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Thank you for having me. And you are correct. We are so lucky to just have so many phenomenal bar associations and activities and legal leaders here in this community. And it's just been a pleasure to get to know them and work with them and advance the missions of our organizations, which is to make the legal profession more inclusive for all.
Yeah, yeah. And as you said, yes, we are indeed fortunate in this state. And, anybody who's interested with regards to the legal profession, all you need to do is go on the various organizations' websites and learn more about them, particularly like the Diversity Scholarship Foundation. We have a website, and we encourage everybody to go on our website as well as the Women's Bar Association's website. So again, Whitney, thank you so much for being with us. This has been the Diversity Scholarship Foundation's Profiles in the Law, and we've had the great pleasure of speaking with Whitney Siehl, who is the current president of the Women's Bar Association. And that concludes our program. We hope you enjoyed it, and we will be continuing on as we do every month with another individual from the legal community in the state of Illinois. So thank you for watching.